Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca from Beautiful Day, and welcome to Journeys of Hope, a live stream series featuring refugees telling their stories. I'm here tonight with special guest Saad Awad, who happens to be Beautiful Day's kitchen manager. And you can see our brand new kitchen in the background behind him. Saad is going to tell the story of his journey from the Middle East to America. So, just to begin, Saad, can you tell us where you're from, where you were born?
I was born in a small village called Amuda in a city called Al-Hasaki. And my father was a policeman, so he had to move a lot during his service. So I was born a little far away from where my parents originally from.
Great. Paula, can you show us the map of Syria just for our viewers who might not know exactly where Syria is located in the Middle East? You can see there with the red arrow pointing right at Syria. It borders Turkey in the north and Iraq, and in the south, it borders Jordan, and in the east, it borders Israel and Lebanon. Isn't that right, Saad?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, so you were born in Amuda, which, as I understand it, is in the north, but you didn't stay there, did you?
No, actually, my parents decided to move to Damascus a year after I was born. So we settled in Damascus.
Can you tell us a little bit about Damascus?
Damascus is a beautiful city. It's uh, the oldest living city in the world uh, up until now, and it's just beautiful. It's like I can't really like explain how pretty it is, and it's
Paula, can you show us the next slide? This will give us the viewers a sense of some of the things that are there. Can you move to the next slide, please? There we go. Can you tell us about this, Saad? This is in Damascus.
yep. This is one of the corners of Damascus, the old city, and it's one of the doors actually. Damascus has surrounded by 7 doors, and each door has a different name. And this one is called the Bab Sharqi door, Al Bab al Sharqi.
Actually, this looks like the mosque here, but Paula, if you move to the next slide, we can see the door. There we go.
Oh yes, yes. All right, yes. Yeah, so those doors are still existent until now. There's 7 of them, and they all like they still kind of like in a good shape, you know. And people just go to visit them, and you can see a lot of tourists in these areas where they just love to see them and take pictures.
How old are these doors?
I would say 3,000 years at least.
That's pretty incredible when you consider that in the U.S., old is considered 200 years old. Here we have 3,000-year-old history. The place is just steeped in history. It's just incredible. Paula, can you go back to the previous slide? And maybe, Saad, you can tell us a little bit about this mosque or church or...
The Umayyad Mosque, yes. This is actually, it used to be a church a long, long time ago, and they turned it into a mosque after the Islam community started spreading in the Middle East in a big scale. And you can still see some of the the church signs on the walls around it, all around it. And it's beautiful.
It's the kind of history that we just cannot fathom. I think it's gorgeous. And when we think of Syria right now, we think of war and we think of destruction, but there's such history and beauty there. It must have been quite a place to grow up. What was it like?
It was beautiful, to be honest. I never thought it's is gonna happen to Syria and whatever was going on for the last 11 years. It's just sad to see all that, kind of like going away. But it's still standing until now, like people are fighting for their freedom, they're fighting for their lives, and but in general, I grew up there for almost 29 years, and I loved it. I have, like all my family there, and I have a lot of history there too.
Hmm.
People,
Paula,
people
can you,
just live together happily.
Paula, can you remove the picture so that our viewers can see Saad? There we go. You were saying that people live together happily?
Yes, for a long, long time, like hundreds and hundreds of years. There's no problem. We have so many religions there that like people at some point didn't even think of like what's your religion or where you're from or what you do and stuff like this. So people were just like happy living together, and there's no problems.
Hmm. So all your family is there, and it's a beautiful place steeped in history. You were happy there. People were really tolerant of religious differences, and yet you wanted to leave at age 29. Can you tell us why?
I decided actually to leave long ago, before I was 29. 29 when I had the opportunity to leave, but I decided in my early 20s. After I grew up, to see the corruption going on in the government, and the officials. I start thinking, this is just not right, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I decided, I have the idea in my head, that I want to leave. I want to go somewhere else. I want to try somewhere else where, like there is value for a human being. There is, like everybody counts. Everybody, like have a chance to do something. So on the age of 29, I get the chance to leave, and I left.
How did you leave?
I I went to St. Lucia on a visitor visa. At that time, it was easy, to get a visa to St. Lucia. So I had a girlfriend who has a sister there, lived there, so she helped me get the visa to get there. And yeah, I stayed in St. Lucia for a few months, and then I had the opportunity to smuggle myself in a boat on the ocean, to the American islands, the Virgin Islands, and I did it.
You hired a smuggler to help you get to the American Virgin Islands.
Yes, yes, and it was a pretty, hard experience, I should say.
Can you share a little bit of what it was like?
It was terrifying. It was exciting. It was. I mean, it's just. I didn't even like think of the consequence, because there was a chance for me to drown like in any second, in the middle of the ocean, where we were in a boat, and a small like 2-engine boat fits probably like 10, 12 people supposedly, and we were like, I don't know, 50, 60, maybe 100. I lost count actually.
Oh my goodness.
From like all over the world, in that boat, in the middle of the night, for almost 9 hours in the ocean. Just don't know where we're going or where we're gonna end up, and but at some point we get to shore, and we swam to the beach, and we got where we want to go.
That sounds like a really frightening experience.
Yeah, yes, it was really frightening. It was hard. I mean, as I said, when you're young, you don't really count
Mm.
like the points right, and you gamble basically because you have guts.
Yeah, when you're young, you think you're immortal.
Yes, exactly.
So what happened when you got to which island did you get to?
We end up, the first island we were in St. John.
Uh-huh.
And then from St. John we went to and we took a boat to St. Vincent. And in St. Vincent, uh, we get captured by the immigrations, and we were detained for a few months. And then I had to pay a bond to be released. And I had a court date at that time. And then I end up in Rhode Island, where I met my wife, and we get married. And that way, she offered to help me that way, at the time, to give me papers, because there was like my situation wasn't quite good. But my lawyer said that I couldn't get the asylum that I asked for.
Hmm.
So we get married, and I stayed here in Rhode Island.
So once you got married, did you have to apply for citizenship, or was that automatic after you got married?
No, actually, I had to leave the U.S. before getting married. So I left to Syria, and then I got a visa to Cyprus, and we met in Cyprus. We get married there, and then went back to Syria, and then I had to stay in Syria for 20 months to finalize my visa, and then come to the United States.
And once you got here, were you a citizen?
No, I was a resident.
Uh-huh.
And it took me 4.5 years to get my citizenship.
So you've been here now since when?
The second time, 2005.
So you've been here about 15 years, is that right?
I would say so, yes.
And what have you been doing since then?
I worked as a manager in a gas station, a Shell gas station, and then I saw there was like an opening, a restaurant was closed near us where we lived in Narragansett in Rhode Island. So we were like, maybe we should try it, because we were like both good cooks. So we jumped right on it, and we opened it, and it was a success. We had it for 12 years,
Paula, can you show the next slide? There you are. You want to?
I was young then, though.
So can you tell us a little bit about your restaurant?
It was Mediterranean restaurant. We served a lot of, fresh food, healthy food. People just loved it. We the only issue was there Narragansett, as a lot of people know who lived in Rhode Island. Narragansett is a seasonal area.
Yeah.
We have a lot of business, more than we can handle in the summer, and in the winter it just dies. We struggle all winter, go into summer, and then try to save money in the summer to spend in the winter. I mean, it was great. It was great and overall, but at some point I was like, this is just not me anymore. I was kind of burned out.
Yeah. So now you're working at Beautiful Day. Can you tell our listeners what it's like to work at Beautiful Day? What do you like about it?
Oh yeah, I love Beautiful Day. I mean, I honestly wish I knew they exist, before I was burned out at the restaurant, because working at Beautiful Day is great for a lot of reasons. Actually, I can't list all of them, but first, the mission itself is sounds great. It's just the fact that helping people that they have no idea what to do in a new country, and with a new culture, with the new rules, with the new everything. It's just not easy, because I experienced it the first time I got here. It's hard. It's hard, with the language, with the culture, with everything else around. So having Beautiful Day, helping those people just to at least just give them the right directions, where to go and how to do it, and why to do it. It's just a great thing to do. and the team is awesome that I'm working with. And the whole atmosphere is friendly and stress free, I would say, in most cases. And there's a lot of, I would say, understanding in between everybody. So it's a great place to work at.
Do you ever wish that you could go back to Syria?
To be honest, I would love to visit. Yes, I mean, but to live there, no, I don't think I can do it. Just because I'm kind of like, for a long time I get used to like certain things that I can't go live there because of, as we said, the corruption. I mean, it's not ended, and it's probably spread more right now, with the war that was going on for 10, 11 years and everything else. But I would love to go visit. I have family, friends, there. A lot of memories.
Yeah, it's you've had a pretty remarkable journey from Syria to the United States and back again, and to Cyprus and the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean. Your journey was long and hard, and
Yes.
we're really glad that you're here. And
I'm glad I'm here too.
so that's it for tonight. Thank you, Saad, for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pleasure.
For those of you who are listening, if you'd like to learn more or hear more, please leave a message in the chat bar. And if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter or get regular updates about Beautiful Day and special events, then please leave your email address and we will be in touch. And in the meantime, thank you so much for listening in, and have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.